So this is Nguyen. She owns a Vietnamese restaurant in Vietnam. She's quite famous. And her family has been making noodles for over 30 years. And I'm Ryan, the slave.
First, we will make some broth from bones and meats. Rinse the meats and bones in cold water. What we need are some tendons, oxtail, and flank steak or brisket. Bones with lots of marrow will make the broth richer and fattier and smell really good. Oxtail bones are good too, if you can find them in some Asian markets. The oxtail will make the broth taste sweeter. We will need 1 pound of bones for every quart of water. Here's a piece of meat. You can use brisket or flank steak depending on your choice. Now we have done rinsing. We will start rinsing the meat and bones through hot water.
Make sure you get good tongs to do this with, because these bones can be really big.
Even though we said to rinse through hot water, make sure the water is boiled and cook the meats and bones about 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay, so we put the bones in the hot water to rinse it, and then we want to rinse it again in the cold water so we keep the meat looking nice. And then now we're just going to put this in this nice hot boiling water. I don't recommend putting your hand in it. It'll be kind of hot. There's a lot of food here. This is a bigger pot. I don't recommend picking up this bowl and just dumping it in the hot water, because then it'd spill everywhere, and then you'd have to go to the hospital. Not a good thing. That's so much. It just keeps coming. The reason why we rinsed it once in hot water and once in cold water is so that the broth looks, it's clear, you can see through it. You don't want it to be opaque, because that's bad. Okay, so now we got assorted vegetables and some stuff for spices. We got mixed spices for pho, and we got some sauerkraut. And we're gonna cook this in a pan, and you can get these at your local Asian market. And we got some, just some regular onions. We're gonna grill these. Some ginger, and we got some shallots, some small, they look like small onions. So we just, we wrap these up in aluminum foil. Try to do your best, arts and craft time. And we put each one in its own wrap. So the ginger gets its own wrap, these little shallots get their own wrap, and the onions get their own wrap. And to cook, we'll cook the spices that look like nuts. They're called sauerkraut, and the spices, we'll cook that in a pan. Just wrap these up, put it up, like a burrito. Yes, and these are our vegetables that we're gonna grill, and this is for the flavor, to add flavor to the broth. Okay, and we're gonna cook these vegetables until we can smell them. Okay, so now we're gonna go check back on the pot that we put all the meat in, and there's gonna be these little bubbles. Looks like fat, and to keep the broth clear, you want to just take that out and just just try and scoop it up. You just look for them. They have lots of little bubbles. You can just see them floating around. It makes the broth clearer when you do this. So after we take out the bubbles, the fat, we turn the stove on low, right, and just let it simmer for a few hours, about 5 hours, 6 hours. So we have some vegetables here that we're gonna just chop up, so that when right when we're gonna have the pho, we're gonna put it in the bowl right before we eat it, so it's nice and fresh and tastes really good. And remember to mix them up. So now we take our dried sauerkraut and we're going to put it in this pan and let it cook for about 10 minutes. And you can get these at your local Asian market. And we're going to stir this while it's cooking so it doesn't just cook on one side. We want it to cook all the way through. So we just, grab some chopsticks and push it around. So now as these dried sauerkrauts heat up, they're actually going to expand. And when they're done expanding, we're going to take our mixed spices for pho and we're going to take these pieces and we're just not going to use them because the odor is too strong and it'll ruin the flavor. And we're going to just toss all that into the pan. Do I toss it in now? Yeah. Okay. Great. Now we take the onions, the ginger, and the shallots that we had grilled earlier, and we're going to put that in the pot. Yes, we put it in the pot, right? So just go ahead and very carefully, let's try not to make a mess. So now we have a kind of like a cloth tea bag, and we're taking what's in our pan, dried sauerkraut and the mixed spices for pho, and we're going to put it in this cloth bag right here. It's going to act like a tea bag. When you have tea, what happens is the hot water spreads around the flavor, and we're just going to put this in our nice big pot. And don't worry about getting all of it into the bag. If it doesn't fit, but make sure you get a little bit of everything in there, as much as you can. Careful not to burn yourself because the pan is hot. Tie. Here we go. Like a little tea bag. Make sure it's nice and closed. No strings. And then you tie it up. I'm bad at tying things, so take me a minute. I tie like shoelaces. So in. Bunny ears. I don't know how to tie very well. Out, sorry. It took me years. I didn't learn how to tie shoes till 7th grade, so tying stuff is not my friend. But here we go. Got these nice little bunny ears, and it's all tied up and it looks great. Okay, so we're gonna drop in this cloth tea bag, and we're just gonna let it sink. Oh, doesn't even sink. Close. Look at that. It will sink after a little bit. Should I push it in there?
No, I think it's gonna sing after a while.
Oh, okay. And as the water seeps in, it'll, bounce around and might sink. Oh, it smells good. So now we've let the broth and the pho sit for a while, and we're gonna put it in. We have this ladle here. We're gonna put about half of the ladle's worth of fish sauce in, and just let it mix around. So just fill that up, half a ladle, and you just put it in, and we're gonna try it. Now we put the fish sauce in, and we're just gonna stir it around until you think it's ready, and then you're gonna try it. And when you try it, it's gonna be a little salty, but that's okay because when you put it in with the noodles and everything, it's gonna balance out in the dish. So it should taste pretty salty, but have no fear, everything will be on track. Okay, so now we got just about everything ready, and we're gonna prepare a bowl of pho right here. And so we got our noodles, we got our vegetables with the nogai and the onions, and we got our meat, the cooked meat, the beef and what have you. Then we have some raw meat. I'm actually not too sure what this is. I think it might be like brisket. But the idea is that it's raw, and when you put the hot broth over it, it actually cooks it. It's thin enough that the broth will just cook it right on the spot. So it's really cool. So yeah, we're preparing our bowl here. Make sure there's plenty of meat. And get some vegetables in there. And it's the onions and the nagai. Good. And look at that. It looks really good. Out of the way. Hot, but very good looking. I can actually see the meat cooking right now. It's turning, you know, pinkish. You know, it's red there, it's turning pink, and I can actually see it cooking. So it's really fascinating to watch. And so this is the finished product, you know, and you see your vegetables and meat, and see it's a little pink, but it's cooking. And the noodles are on the bottom, and then you put the meat on top. And then to finish it off, you put your vegetables, the onion, and the nagai, and yeah. And we have different types of sauces here. We have the black pho sauce and the sriracha sauce, and you can flavor it as you like. Okay, so now I'm just gonna tie this up, put it in, and there's some lime here. I don't want too much lime, but a little, just to add some more flavor. And I'm not a big fan of this sauce, but I really do like the sriracha sauce, so I'm going to put some in there. Mix the sauce in. Let's try a bite. Make sure I get some noodles. That is really good. You can just taste how fresh everything is, how fresh the vegetables are, and the meat is just fantastic. The noodles have an interesting consistency. I've never had these noodles before in pho, and you know, I just think this is, you know, a wonderful dish.